Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Princess. I'm an international student living in Toronto, Canada. That is Toronto. Let me call it like you call it when you're outside Canada. Toronto, Canada. I live in Ontario. So this video is, a lot of people have been sending me emails. People have asked me about it, like, oh, what is rent like and stuff. So today we're just gonna scatter the table. We're just gonna lay it out there, like talk about everything, expenses, rent, everything. So welcome. If you're new, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, share, like, nada, comment and all that. So like, okay, when the Canadian dream starts, oh, I want to school in Canada, and then will I get admission, will I not? You get the admission, it's like woohoo, and then you're like, oh my god, I hope they give me visa. They give you visa, yes. So most people at the end, they now realize, like, fam, I was preparing for a lot of things, like preparing my school fees and all that, but many people don't know how expensive it is here. So today I'm gonna be talking about Toronto because that's where I live. A little background story: I live with my son, he's 2 years old, so that just gives you an idea of my arrangement. So this video, I'm gonna use our experience, like my personal monthly expense, to give you this budget. I have my tablet here, so I'll just be looking down once. So if you're coming alone, if you're coming as a student, you're coming alone with no dependent, definitely your monthly expense is gonna be way less than this, but this is just my own scenario. So if you're coming with a kid or coming with 2 kids or something, you have an idea what you're facing. So let me start by saying my school is located downtown Toronto. So that just makes it way harder for me compared to people that their school is like outskirts and stuff, because rent is cheaper there. So let's start from the number one thing, the biggest on my list, the thing that eats my money every month. And know that everything I'm talking about is monthly. So compared to like in Nigeria, where like our rent was annually, you have 12 months to prepare. Like fam, here you have 30 days and try not to lose your job in the middle, because then you have like 15 days. Like you need to pay your rent every single month. Like there's nothing like, oh, I've paid, I can relax for 12 months. And no, these bills are every single month. So in case you were thinking of asking me like, Princess, you're abroad, you're in the abroad, send me money. My dear, I am broke. I am always broke. So if you see me, press me some dollars. Like anytime you see me, just put some dollars in my hand and say, Princess, just use this and hold, buddy. Anyway, going back to the video, let's start afresh. So I'm gonna talk about my rent. So my rent is $2,000 a month. I live midtown, which is like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to downtown, because my school is located downtown. If you're living outskirts, your rent will be cheaper. So why is my rent that expensive? So my rent is expensive because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I live in an Airbnb. Like I started with an Airbnb and I just never left. I'm gonna do a whole video about why I chose to live in an Airbnb. But yes, my rent is $2,000. I live with my son. It's a 1-bedroom apartment, fully furnished, blah blah blah, because it's Airbnb. But then when I came and I was checking rents, like rental basements and all that, and fam, this 2,000 is a basement. Oh, it is a basement. It is not outside. It's not like the main house. It is a basement. The first time I found out that like basements were normal in Canada, I was like, I'll be living under the ground, like inside. But yeah, basements are so normal here. So I'm paying $2,000 for rent. So if you're alone, you don't have dependents, there's something they call like house sharing, where you get like a room. So that range around like $500, $600, $700, depending. Some even have $1,000. It goes up to like $1,200 if you're taking like the master bedroom and stuff. Most of all those things you see it in condos and apartments, stuff like that. I've heard of basements, but not so much. So if you're coming with a child, your budget is going to be around this 2,000 ish for a 1 bedroom, because when I was checking for the unfurnished ones, I was still getting quotes for like 1.8. But then please note that this is midtown. I live midtown. So if you're living like more outside, like maybe Scarborough, Mississauga, Brampton, places like that, you're gonna get cheaper rents. Like, because when I was checking Brampton, I was seeing like 1,200 for an unfurnished basement. But then nobody wanted me because I didn't have like my social, I didn't have credit history, I didn't have anything which they wanted, like landlord reference and stuff like that. So, but if you're alone, if you're a single Pringle, or you just don't have any dependent, you'll be paying like 500, 600 a month. So bear that in mind. And most of those places come inclusive of all bills. So also ask, make sure it's inclusive of bills. So next one, number 2, the next one is utilities. How much do I pay for utilities, which is heater, gas, water, cable, internet, all that stuff. So I don't pay any of that because they are all inclusive of my rent. So now you see the 2,000 is making sense, because all these things are inclusive, compared to if I'd gotten an unfurnished house and I would have paid like maybe 1,514, then I would still have to pay all these utilities, and then I still have to furnish the house and stuff. So all my utilities are included. I don't have to pay any extra utility. So it depends on you. If you're doing like house sharing, all your utilities will probably be included. My friends I've spoken to, they all have their utilities included. So make sure you ask, is utility included or not? So you're not paying extra money. So laundry, how much do I pay for laundry a month? I do not pay. I do not pay anything for laundry. When I first moved here, I was paying, the washer was free, and then I was paying for the dryer like $1 per load. But then my landlady had mercy on me and pitied me, understood I was a peasant, that I needed all the financial breaks I could get, and she removed the payment. So I don't pay for laundry. And also, if you're looking for an apartment, please make sure there's laundry and suite. Like, they have lots of like coin laundry and stuff, but if you can get the one with the laundry and suite, it's gonna make your life easier. Because like during summer and fall is fine, but during winter, fam, you don't want to like be going through that snowstorm and everything, and you have to go do your laundry and then you have to wait there, because even a quick load takes like 30 minutes. So think about all that. And then if you have a child, it's like a no-brainer, because I don't know, where would I keep Asha to go do laundry and come back with my schedule and stuff like that? Because school, work, the daycare runs and stuff, there's really no time. So make sure you have laundry and suite, or at least maybe next door, something. It needs to be close to you, because you'll be doing lots of laundry, especially if you have a child and you don't want to be going far, because where would you keep the baby? Unless you take the baby there, but then there's so many, like, it's just a lot. So put that in mind when you're looking for a place. My TTC, how much do I pay? TTC is the Toronto Transport Company. I think that's it. I really hope it is. But yeah, TTC is like transport. How much do I pay for transportation a month? I pay $128.15. And I pay this because I use the post-secondary pass. So there's something called the post-secondary pass for students, and you get a discounted rate of, you just pay $128.15 a month, and that is unlimited. You can tap in and out as much as you want. But the normal rate, if you're not a student, maybe you're coming as a worker or something, the normal rate is $156 normally per month. So, but I use the student pass, so I pay $128.15 a month. So that's that. And then if you're doing pay as you go, like if you don't go out every day, that's like $3 something. I'm gonna do another video about TTC and stuff. So next on the list, childcare. When you come with a dependent, so from 0 to 4 years or 5 years, you have to pay for childcare. It is not free. They always say, oh, Canada school is free. It is not free for the daycare level and preschool. It's only free from elementary. So if you have a toddler like me and you're coming to Canada, this is how much I pay bi-weekly. So bi-weekly, I pay $440 bi-weekly, and that brings it up to $880 a month. Almost $1,000 a month for childcare. So that's another like big expense. That is another one of my big expense every month. So, but with this, meals are inclusive. They feed them breakfast, lunch, and 2 snacks. Daycares vary, like it depends on the location. There are some public daycares too, but those ones are like so hard to get into. I've been waitlisting for like a year and nobody has still called me back. So this one I got is on a high end, to be honest, because these people didn't have wait list and they were the ones I could easily get into. But if you're coming, wait list on time and you'll be able to pay less than this. So I know you do not qualify for subsidy. Subsidy is for like permanent residents and stuff, but as an international student, I do not qualify for subsidy. But right now there's a Canada-wide learning discount program going on where we pay less, because before I was paying like way more than this. I was paying, this is 52% off, so I was paying close to $1,000 bi-weekly. When I first came, I was stranded. There was nowhere to keep Asha, so that was an option. I'm gonna do a whole video about daycare in another video if you want that. This video is everywhere. So next, phone. How much do I pay for my phone? Like my phone bills, my internet and everything. I pay $43 a month, and it has 45 gigabytes, unlimited text and calls in Canada, 1,000 international calls. So that's what is included in my bundle. I use Fido. And these international calls, it doesn't go to Nigeria. They are just some select countries. So check if the countries you have your family is included in that. But I don't use that because it doesn't call Nigeria. So $43 for phone every month, and the 45 gig is okay. Like I've never exhausted it because there's usually Wi-Fi at home or Wi-Fi when you get to the office or like the mall or something, so you really don't exhaust it, I think. Anyway, for me, I never exhaust it, so that's more than enough. So for household expenses, how much do I use for like groceries, maybe a haircut? Asha's cutting his hair, diapers. Asha is on pull-up diaper and that thing is so expensive. Diapers, water. Okay, I pay for water. I don't. If you drink tap water, your bill is going to be less if you drink tap water, because I don't drink tap water. It's a normal thing here, but I just can't stomach it. I have tried, but the water just have taste. And then my plate rack is white, and then when I dry my plate, I see it getting discolored. So it's like, what is that? So anyway, at first I was buying water from Costco. I bought the packs of water, and that was way expensive. But then I just got the refillable one, the Britax refillable water dispenser. Is like a jug and it just filters your water. So in case, you can also do that, because I was buying the bottled water at first, which was so expensive. So for household expenses, for all of that, I spend about $500 a month. This is an average. Some months they are more, some months they are less. But this is an average like $500, because Asha diapers alone, I have to buy that like every two weeks or three weeks, and it's so expensive. Feeding, we eat 98% of what we eat at home. We don't really eat out, so buying groceries and all that is more like a weekly stuff. So yeah, I would say 500 is an average for me. Next on the list, Asha's soccer. So during summer we put Asha in the soccer club. He started in like June, and that is $80 a month. So if you have a toddler dependent and you want to put them in a sport or something, it's around like $80-$100 a month for like every weekend classes, like 4 classes. So if you have a dependent, that is also something to consider. Next on the list, clothing. Clothing is not on my monthly list because we really don't buy a lot. We try to buy stuff at the beginning of the season and we just wear it back to back, like we wear it out till the season ends, because it's like I'm doing laundry every Friday. Why do I need plenty clothes? So we don't buy lots of clothes. So we just bulk buy at the beginning of the season and buy what we need. Like during winter, I basically had like 3 sweaters, 3 leggings, and like 6 tops and things like that. We just buy that and we wear back to back. Like I'm doing laundry every Friday. So clothing is not here because I do not shop every week. I only shop when it's essential. Health insurance. So as an international student, I have health insurance. Most international students, I think, have health insurance. Just check your school fees breakdown. You'll probably see your health insurance there. So I have health insurance, but Asha does not have health insurance. And when I wanted to like add him to my plan, the quote was like around $2,000 or $2,500, and I'm like, bruh, I don't have that money. Like I don't have that money for that. So we use the walk-in clinics. So every community have their little walk-in clinics. You just walk in, there are doctors there and they check you and everything. So that's what we used when we landed, and Asha was always getting sick, like getting used to the weather and stuff. So for that, for the walk-in clinics, it costs from $60 to $80. So you just pay, you go see the doctor, and then you go get your drugs or whatever you need to do. So I don't have health insurance. I don't pay that monthly. And if Asha needs it, he needed it when we came a lot. Like when he was changing environment, he really needed it. And we just did the walk-in clinics and that was fine. It ended up being Tylenol. So yeah, that's what we used. Monthly memberships. Now school is not in session. I don't really have lots of monthly memberships, maybe like Disney or stuff. My phone, iTunes, $10. Disney, I think, is like $10 something. So less than $50 for those memberships. Netflix, I don't have an account. I have password from my sister, so I don't have to pay for Netflix. But then after, when school resumes, I have some educational apps that I'm on, and that runs me close to like another $50 monthly for membership. So let's say when school is not on, $50, when school is on, $100. Student loans, I do not have student loans, but if you're coming on a loan, you need to consider that, paying that monthly. And remember, the minimum wage in Toronto right now is $15.50, and you need to use that to plan and then take out tax. So yeah, so that's it. Like, I thought this list was gonna be long, or did I just talk too fast? So that's it. Basically, that's my expense for the month, how much I spend. And as you can see, it's a lot of money, especially when you're coming with a dependent. I can't stress this enough, but when you're coming with a dependent, it is so expensive. It is so expensive because I couldn't do the house sharing that most people do. I would have just been paying $500 a month. But with a child, you can't put a child in certain environments because you don't know who is who and stuff. And not everybody will understand, like when your child is like we are going through potty training now. He has to be naked most of the time. Your child wakes up and is crying or is cranky or like messes up the whole place. So with a child, you're very limited. You can't just like, let's see how it goes. Like, you have to plan. So if you're coming with a child, please, your rent, like, look at, I think 1.5 is a good bet, because then if you're getting an empty house, then you have to furnish it. You have to get like bed and stuff, and all those things are very expensive, and daycare is very expensive. So if you don't wait list and get into a cheap daycare on time, like this is almost 10 months and we still haven't gotten any response back. That's why we are still paying this much on daycare. So consider that. Rent for a single Pringle, 500, 400, 350. I've even seen people looking for roommates and they posted 350 on Marketplace. So that's basically it. TTC, as a student, you get way cheaper. I'm gonna do a different video on the whole TTC thing so you know how to get this discount, because you don't just walk in and get it. But yeah, that's basically my monthly expense living in Canada. And fam, it is a lot. So when you see me, please dash me money. Dash me money. Don't think I'm rich because I'm living in Canada. I'm suffering. I'm really suffering, bills upon bills, and these bills need to be made every month. So while you're looking for that admission, you're applying for your visa, you need to also consider the cost of living. Like, can you actually like pay these bills when you get here? And compared to other countries where you can work to pay your school fees, in Canada is very, very hard, because the method of teaching, the method of learning in Canada is so hectic. Like, this is harder than when I was even doing my bachelor's. Like, this is very hard. Like, once school resume, every week I have like presentations, I have tests, I have assignments, I have group work. You have so much things to do. Your classes are 3 hours long. I have 6 classes a week, 3 hours long. So put all these into consideration when you're thinking of coming. Like, make sure you plan. Make sure you really plan yourself. Because fam, you don't want to be in Canada and you're broke, you get desperate, because it's just gonna be a lot. Like, make sure you really plan, because things are expensive, groceries are expensive, everything is expensive. There's inflation right now, and the retail tax in Toronto is 13%. 13%. So for everything you buy, you're paying 13% tax on everything. Let that sink in. So also, this also plays into like choosing your province and all that, but taxing is a lot here. So please consider all these things before you move to Toronto. Especially Toronto, consider it before you move here. But yes, I just want to do like a quick breakdown of my expenses, how much I spend for things, so you have an idea of how things are. Most people, your things may be less if you're like moving more on the outskirts than inside town, because I'm very close to downtown, so things are way more expensive here. So whatever I've said, you can use it as a benchmark and you will probably go lower than that. But yes, thank you so much. That will be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Like, fam, I need to see that subscribe. That is my encouragement. So please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends that want to move to Canada, that are having questions about the cost of living in Canada and stuff like that. So thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.